of the day. It is with Trevor Harbottle, the operational head at Get Ahead College, and Annelise Pieterse, operational head at Get Ahead Primary. Today we're talking the art of running efficient operations in a school. They are already in studio with us and so eager for us to begin this conversation. Let me start by greeting you, both of you, and welcoming you to the show. Thank you so much for coming through and giving each of you an opportunity to greet our listeners as well.
Good afternoon, listeners, and thank you so much, Thandi. We really appreciate this opportunity.
Good afternoon, Thandi. Yes, and a big hello out there to our listeners. It's absolutely great to be in studio with you, Thandi, and looking forward to having this conversation.
Awesome. I'm going to start by giving each of you an opportunity to tell us about yourself and how you made your way towards getting into the Get Ahead family. Maybe I will start with you, Trevor, on that one.
Yeah, so I think I've been in education for about 20 years now. I've been a headmaster. This is my 6th year, and I've been at Get Ahead for the last 2 years. I arrived in July 2021. But I'm not new to Komani in the Eastern Cape. I studied at Fort Hare University. My family lives in Hogsback, and I actually did my driver's license here in Queenstown as it was then. I always figured if you can get around the hexagon safely for a driver's license, you can probably drive anywhere. Yes. So I've always sort of known the area.
Right.
I was in KZN as head at a school there, and I've been following Get Ahead for about 10 years, and I saw the post open up and chatted to my wife about it, and we've got 2 small children, 5 and 7, and we decided we wouldn't mind moving back to this area, be close to their grandparents as well, and yeah, so that was how I got started at Get Ahead. Yeah.
Interesting. And you, Annelise?
Yes, Thandi, if you ask me who I am, then I need to start off by saying to you that I am an educator at heart.
Okay.
I'm big on values, and I do love a good challenge.
Okay.
Yes, I married a Queenstown man and got imported to Komani.
Okay, you were not from here originally.
I was not from here, so I've
Right.
been here since 1999.
Oh my word.
And I've been in education for 27 years, 17 of those in high school, and I've been in management positions for 15 of those years. I got to know Get Ahead through their students. I was teaching at Girls High School, and I was part of an interviewing panel that interviewed prospective grade 8 learners.
Okay.
And it's there that I got to see, if I can call it the end product of Get Ahead. I got to know these students, and I could see the values, the commitment, the work ethic, and really the values of the school as those that align very closely with my own. And at the end of 2020, I saw that the operational head position at the primary was advertised. And like I said, I thrive on a challenge.
You love a challenge.
I decided to throw my name into that hat.
Right.
And I was very fortunate to be successful in my application. And I love being part of a team that actively works to make a positive difference in the lives of children.
Wow, that's so deep. And, I think those journeys are both beautiful and interesting and different, but, at the center of it, you found your way to the Get Ahead family. And, I hear you, Annelise, talking about values, and I think, an alignment between where you are working and whatever you're doing and your own values, is very much important in ensuring that you succeed and you enjoy what you actually do, because if there's a disconnect, oh my word. Anyway, Trevor, I'll give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about Get Ahead, how it started, and maybe, the program itself, because I think it's a program. It's not your normal schooling program, but it is, there's a difference with it. Talk to us through that.
Yeah, so the Get Ahead project as an organization, it's an NGO, and it started in 1992, just after the sort of end of apartheid, as things were sort of becoming more open in South Africa. And really the intention behind the schools group was to provide a good education for everybody, a good quality education, because not everybody had access to that sort of quality of education. So the Queenstown Primary School, where Annelise is, that celebrated its 30th birthday last year. That was sort of the original school, and we stand to be corrected, but I think it's the oldest independent school in Komani anyway. And then about 10 years later, the Get Ahead project opened the Whittlesea Get Ahead Primary School, because we also have a primary school through
That's
there.
right. Okay.
And then the high school, which I'm responsible for, that was started in 2007 with the first group of grade 12s going through in 2008. So this will be our 15th set of grade 12. So that's sort of the history of the school. So we operate as an NGO with sort of 3 operational branches underneath it: Whittlesea, Queenstown Primary, and then myself. And we get a lot of support and funding from a Canadian organization. Really, without the Leacock Foundation, we wouldn't have been able to develop our school the way it is. We don't use our parents' school fees to develop the capital. That comes from outside donors.
Donors,
yes,
right,
and
yeah.
so that's really where we've been able to build up the school to what it is today.
Wow, that is amazing. I didn't actually realize that it's been quite a long time.
It is.
It has been quite a long time. And Annelise, you spoke about values. Could you also enlighten us a little bit in terms of the values of Get Ahead? What are those?
Thandi, we are a values-driven school.
Okay.
You get schools that are rules-driven.
Okay.
We are values-driven.
Okay.
And for us, the values of love and respect and honesty is very important, and it's evident in everything we do. For us, school needs to be a space where every child feels valued and worthy, and where for them there's a sense of belonging.
Wow.
And more than that, though, for us, it is about empowerment. We want to empower our students to become independent, contributing citizens of society.
Okay.
We cultivate and develop an entrepreneurial mindset with our students. That's an approach of thinking that actively develops talent.
Okay.
And when I say entrepreneurial mindset, it's not starting a business, just
Necessarily.
selling stuff and making a profit. It's really a mindset of being resilient, being resourceful. It really is to be solution-based and solution-orientated.
Sure.
And those, for us, really are the skills that we need to install in our children. And now we call them students, but they are kids.
They're children, yeah.
You know, we need to install that in them to make them successful in life. And we want to empower them with that.
Quite amazing. And I think, I know personally I would never be able to deal with children. I've got 3 of my own and I'm trying my best. So I can never imagine, the amount of work that goes into, guiding, directing, leading, grooming a lot of children, which is what happens in a schooling setting. And I think, rules are very much important, but love, the worthiness, showing that they are valued, showing that they are important, they are special. I think it goes a long way, because also, some of the children, they come to school with so many home burdens,
Absolutely.
with so many things that are happening in the home. And I believe that if a school creates an environment where at least, there's a beacon of hope, it helps them to get through life a lot. All right. And if we look at some of the requirements, or before we go there, maybe let's talk, Trevor, about how you ensure that everything functions optimally. I mean, you are responsible as the operational head to ensure that, the school is a well-oiled machine. How do you ensure that? What would you, and I'm asking this from a perspective of someone who is also in an operation space, maybe in a business or whatever the operation space is. How do you ensure that everything runs smoothly, or as close to smoothly as possible?
Yeah, so I think for me it comes back to those values and the people. So in our context, respect, love, honesty, and about how you live that out amongst the people. So trying to set an example with our staff, with our students, with our parents. They're all an important part of our school. So if we can get those values to be something that they're all living out and seeing being lived out on a daily basis, it becomes a lot easier to get all of the structural things to work. I see my role, and Annelise is probably similar, is we really exist to support our staff and to provide them and the parents and the students with the structure and the resources needed for learning. So the experts in the classroom are the subject teachers, and they know how to get through to each of those children. So So I'm just making sure that they can do their jobs to the best of their ability. That's really my focus. From a practical point of view, some of the things that we do specifically at Get Ahead is we've got solar and we've got Wi-Fi throughout our campuses, and that makes a huge difference as a school. We don't have to worry about the lights going off. We can't photocopy. The projector crashes in the middle of the lesson. All of those things can operate smoothly, and those were decisions taken a couple of years ago to just make things sort of more sustainable for the schools, but also to keep education functioning all the time. Because I think one of the advantages of being an independent school is we can determine when we're operating all the time, so we can make sure that we maximize that contact time with the children, and so that's what the solar helps us to do. I think we also have very committed staff. They go above and beyond what they need to do, and again, I think we very results driven in terms of our performance, not necessarily matric results, but in terms of seeing children who have grown and developed being able to leave because we've helped to improve them or empower them, as Annelise was saying. So it's not about we just have to get children through a system or something like that. There's real passion. So I'm always so proud of my staff when they choose to give up their Saturdays, their public holidays to provide extra lessons. And at the same time, that commitment is sort of returned by the parents and pupils. It's not always easy to find transport to the school, etc., over the weekends, but they make that commitment as well. And I think that's where, when people put in that effort for one another, then it's reciprocated. And that's really the kind of approach that we try to have at the school, is we're going to go the extra mile to support everybody, because we recognize education isn't just teaching in a class, it's meeting the needs of the whole sort of child and being able to address all of those. So even just an example with the solar, one of the things that we did when Isabeleni had all of its blackouts and electricity problems, and a lot of our pupils live in that sort of area, we allowed the kids to come to school and charge devices at school, be those sort of lights or phones or whatever it was, because we recognize we've got this sort of great blessing of the solar, but they don't have any electricity. If we don't support them with that, it's really not the kind of community school we want to be. So that's sort of the way we try and approach things.
Wow, I think that one is very interesting, especially you're touching on solar, and right now everyone is we're struggling basically, like throughout the country. We definitely do have an energy crisis on our hands, and we need to find creative ways to still survive, still live, still be able to achieve the goals that we seek to. So I think it's quite interesting that, you know, you were able to proactively, at least, you know, you say it's a blessing, you know, at least be able to get past it, and to also, you know, open it up to support, you know, your learners. I think that is quite an interesting one, and different, unique. Annelise, if someone, or if a child, a student, a student or a learner wants to join the primary level or the college, you know, what sort of requirements are there that you know, you look at as a school to admit or to allow, you know, new pupils to come and join your program?
Thank you, Thandi. I'm going to answer just from the primary school point, and then if Trevor can speak
Trevor.
for the college. Thandi, for us at the primary school, there are no entrance tests or exams. There are no interviews. For us at primary school, we say, come as you are.
Okay.
We will meet you where you are at.
Okay.
And then we will take hands. We will co-construct your journey.
Okay.
To get you to be the best you.
Okay.
Thandi, I'm always amazed. Trevor was speaking about his colleagues who are incredible. At the primary school, you will be amazed by what the teachers can accomplish. We get our little ones in at the beginning of the year not being able to speak a word of English, and we are an English medium school.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, a month into the year, I can
There's
stand
difference.
there and have a conversation in English.
Wow.
So for us, say, come
As you are.
as you are. The only requirements, if I can call it that, would be age. You need to be the right age for your grade.
Right.
And yes, and then we are an independent school, therefore there's school fees to be paid.
Okay. So those are the main. So I love the fact that you say come as you are, and it makes me feel like there's a sort of an understanding that each child, each learner is unique. So
Absolutely.
I think it's always, beautiful to be able to deal with, learners as uniquely as possible, or as being accommodative of their uniqueness, and traveling that journey, from the point that they're in, because they can never be
Especially
all
at
the
that
same.
age,
Yeah.
especially for our little ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And Trevor, from the college point of view, obviously you take the throughput
Yes.
from the primary side, but obviously parents decide what to do,
Yes.
and some parents might want to enter the program at the college level, like maybe the child, I don't know which grade it's,
Yeah,
grade
so-
8 or
High school, we take kids into grade 8, 9, or 10. We don't accept children into grade 11 or 12. It's generally, whatever they've
principal.
learned so far is just, it's not under our control. So
Yeah.
we just by principle take them into grade 8, 9, and 10. And
Okay.
a large majority of our pupils come from our 2 primary schools, from Queenstown and the Whittlesea Get Ahead Primary School. But we do accept another 30 or 40 children
From
every year from
different-
any other school.
Yeah.
And really, we don't have entrance exams either at the high school. What we do expect is that you are able to communicate well in English, because as Annelise said, we're an English medium school, so that's important.
Okay.
If somebody comes from a school where they might have been doing first additional language, or a school that's not familiar to us, there's quite a lot of schools in sort of some of the towns that we don't necessarily know, then we have a benchmark test in English where we
Okay.
get them to do the test so that we can see what are the problems going to be. Are they going to do very well, or are we going to need to give them extra support when they join us? Or are we possibly not the right school for them? And very seldom that is the case, but
Okay.
I'd rather say to a parent, your child is not going to cope here. Let's put these steps in place and they can reapply next year once the English has improved, then accept someone and set them up for failure because they can't understand what's happening in an
Yeah,
English medium
yeah,
class. So
yeah.
we have those conversations with the parents, but really that's all we're looking for. You pass grade 7 or grade 9. If you're coming into grade 10, you can understand and communicate in English. And again, you're wanting to learn. I think that's important for me. Is we're a school where children need to take advantage of the opportunities they're given.
Yeah, awesome. And if I would ask you, Annelise, that there are many different schools in the area, like
Yes.
many. So, what would you say is what makes you different or unique or stand out, or what makes the Get Ahead program different?
Thandi, I can talk on that the whole afternoon.
Please don't do that.
but I know we're limited. So he's coming from a public school space into this independent school space. I can tell you that it is very different.
Okay,
Obviously,
yeah.
and it's a very positive difference.
Sure.
But also when we look at other schools in our area, what I think makes us stand out, make us unique, is that, as Trevor he mentioned earlier, we're an NGO, so there's no
Okay.
profit.
Okay.
We do not run a school to make a profit. Our school is our community. It's a community of learning.
Okay.
The school belongs to the community and to the learners that come through our doors.
Okay.
It is not a profit-driven organization. What you will find when you come to our schools is that there's a teacher in every class,
Okay.
every lesson, every day, and a teacher who is a qualified teacher, who's SACE registered. And also our schools are accredited by Umalusi, and if our listeners want to go and just Google that and see what Umalusi is all about, it's very stringent. The criteria that you have to meet, it is annually.
Okay.
Everything gets reviewed, from our staffing establishment to our policies to our facilities to our learning program. And I stand to be corrected, but I do think we're the only independent school in this area who's Umalusi accredited.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that really makes us stand out. And then obviously the technology
Okay.
in our schools. So we've got technology in every classroom, from a data projector to wireless
Wi-Fi.
adapters. Every teacher's got a device, whether it's a laptop and a tablet or just a laptop. We've got sound bars in every class. We've got a computer lab with Chromebooks. Why Chromebooks? Because it's for the purpose of education, and for our primary school learners, Chromebook, smaller, for smaller hands.
Okay.
The letters on your keyboard, those are all capital letters. In the Chromebook, it's lower cost,
Okay.
so that our little ones can
Are able to learn.
identify
Oh.
that. We've also got a mobile lab
interesting.
with 36 mobile Chromebooks that we use in our classrooms. We integrate our technology into our lessons. We have got a facility which we call Maker Space.
Okay.
In a Maker Space, that's where we have our STREAM education, STREAM being science, technology, robotics, English, art, mathematics. We integrate that.
Wow.
I know we've all heard about the fourth industrial
Yes.
revolution. Yeah, this is
is
it in
it.
action. You can come and witness it. So there's that exposure to our kids. Very focused on art and drama. Those are things that I think got left behind in our schooling system. Our extramural program is a limited offering, but really a quality offering. So what makes us unique, what makes us stand out, those are definitely some of the things.
Yeah, yeah. I love the tech, the introduction of the tech into everything that you're doing, because if we are not, intentionally focused on integrating technology in what we doing as we grooming our children, we are letting them, you're setting them back in a way, because
Absolutely.
tech is the way things are going. And I love you mentioning also robotics. I think schools really need to look at investing more in that, the AI and, the robotic side of things, because that is where things are going. So it's better to just, introduce them now, equip ourselves, get away from the fear of change and everything, because that's where things are going. And I think it's beautiful that it gets introduced when the children are still younger, so that we are not 40 and trying to to figure it out. Anyway, Trevor, before I let you guys go, the types of teaching methodologies that are employed at the school, I think you've just mentioned quite a lot of them. If you want to add more, maybe on.
So I think just from the high school perspective, the only thing that's a bit different with the high school is we write IEB exams. So that's the Independent Examinations Board. So it still follows a normal CAPS curriculum like the DBE schools do, but it's a separate examining body. And that examining body, we believe, sets our kids up for better success in life and business and in university, because it's far more based on critical thinking, problem solving, real life examples than sort of rote learning. And so that's why we've chosen that for our pupils, and our teachers obviously try and bring those skills into the classroom as well to sort of help prepare the learners for that exam at the end of the day.
And lastly, if someone wants to maybe ask further questions about Get Ahead, understand it better, maybe enroll a child, I don't know, when your openings and closings are, obviously it'll be for 2024 now, I guess. So just talk to us about that before we let you go.
Tandy, definitely open. Applications are open.
Now,
it's now already.
Okay.
On the 3rd of June, Saturday the 3rd of June, we're going to have some marketing teams. We will be there too. One team at Spark, Super Spa, if parents want to come and meet with us there. We're also planning a marketing team to go to Esbeleni Mall.
Okay.
We'll be there for parents to come and meet with us. Then on the 22nd of June, we have an open day.
Okay.
Yeah, parents are welcome to come and visit, bring kids, come and see what we're all about. And also, just a bit of, we've got a concert coming up.
Okay.
The 1st of May and the 1st of June. We've got a nice concert coming up, Rainbow Rock, which very exciting for people to come and have a look at. But I think Trevor can speak more about the website.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say they can go to getahead.org.za. The application forms are there. They can download them, complete them. Contact details are on there. And also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn if they want to, whichever platform they work from. Yeah, they can find further information and contact us that way as well.
Yeah, we would love to hear from the listeners.
Right. Hopefully you will.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for your time. It has
Thank
been
you,
a
Tanya.
great
Thank
conversation.
you. It's lovely being
Only a
here.
pleasure.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
all right. And that was Trevor Harbottle, Operations Head at Get Ahead College, and Annelise Pieterse, Operations Head at Get Ahead Primary, talking to us a little bit about what they are all about as the Get Ahead program, and how one can be able to run efficient operations in a school. Obviously, judging by the conversation, we can be able to see that they are quite a unique program, a unique school that is more focused on ensuring that education is accessible for the community, they position themselves as a tool to ensure that education is available to the community, because they are also a non-profit organization. They've got so many different ways of ensuring that, children are succeeding within their program, different approaches, introduction of technology, or integration of technology rather, into their program, having arts, having, different elements of that integrated into the program, and also looking at students, or viewing them as unique, and saying, at the primary level, you can be able to come as you are, and they'll be able to journey with you through, as you go. And they also have the college to ensure that you go through the entire program. All right now let's take a song, and when we come back, we're going to be looking at your markets and touching on some of the things that they said. Do make sure that you stay tuned.